Hi, this is Leslie Powers from Dissolving the Divide, and AliveThrive.life is my website. I'm also part of Awake at the Lake with Chris Jantzen of End Evil, and I am here just to talk a little bit about this project that Derek Bartoluccelli and I have called Dissolving the Divide. And this side, ultimately what I realize is true is what Mark Passio has declared, and that is that the only true divide is between those people who believe in authority and those that don't. And when we recognize that there are no masters and no slaves in reality, and that any system of government is a wrong, that any kind of government is committing violence and is declaring itself as an authority unjustly, where it does not exist in nature. And that as humans, when we realize our value and our interconnectedness at the foundation, we would see that we cannot condone or participate in government, because that is participating in violence and ultimately is endorsing slavery and creating slaves of ourselves. And this is a big leap, because I think these words are strong, they're harsh, and I know people have a hard time with that leap. But ultimately, this is what we're saying, is that there is only one divide, and that is between being free or being a slave. And that we have a bias where we are saying that being free is better. We want to be free. We're meant to be free. And so if you agree with us about freedom, then this channel is for you. Because, you may be there confused and perplexed by all of these details that are being thrown out into the world through the media, and these dialectics that you're being mesmerized with, these arguments, these polarities, these dialectics, these extreme sides pulling you to a polarity, right? It's very easy to get caught up in that, because it's all targeting our emotion. It's targeting our emotional reactions, and our unconscious to a great part. And the more conscious you are of your issues and when you're triggered and why, then you can harness your reactions and you can make a decision that's more holistic and based on truth rather than emotional bias. And this is really a big deal, because these divides that we find ourselves in are generally emotional debates, and they are coming from a place that is wounded, not coming from our true self, our true adult self, our true cosmic aligned with spirit self. So when we're in that state, we're not going to be like slandering each other and fighting. We're going to be clear, calm, cooperative. Well, that may not be the right C word. We'll be clear, calm, caring, curious, compassionate. We'll be in our center, and we'll be open to hearing other points of view and other perspectives, because we're all aligned in the direction of truth. If we are all standing in the direction of truth finding, then we will all be more patient with each other, and we won't be fighting over differences that are rather arbitrary and don't require coercion, or someone to change. You can be you. I can be me. We just need to agree that we're not going to do certain wrongdoings, right? Murder, rape, assault, lying, stealing, trespassing, coercion, that we're all going to do our best to be kind and compassionate and use non-aggression in solving problems. So we need to work on ourselves first. There's an internal process. The answer is internal first, inside our own minds, inside ourselves. And then between us, among us, where we recognize that on some level we are all one, that we're interconnected, that what I do affects you, what you do affects me. And there's enough for everybody, so let's work it out. We need to learn communication skills, teamwork, problem solving, conflict resolution. You know, we can all increase in these skills, and we all each can contribute to make this a better world. So don't shy away from this. Join us in Dissolving the Divide, where we will get to the root of those issues that will help us find freedom and unity and happiness. Thank you.
Holy smokes. It is the shining hour of Leslie Powers in the place to be. My friends, mes amis, as we say. So we've been thinking about, ending evil, natural law, dissolving divides.
While having fun.
Yeah, totally, and getting a lot of shit done. Just that real life shit.
Under the shining sun.
Yeah. He whooped my ass in chess earlier, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We've never played. He's like saving me, I think, because he assumes I can't play.
I can't wait.
Oh, yeah? You holding back?
Well, I've never used... Yeah, he is. Because he knows he'll beat me in like 2 seconds.
Oh, yeah. Hey there. Bonjour. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is episode 20 of Dissolving the Divide. We thought we'd, take a little time to reflect and give some synopsis and a little bit of thoughts on the episodes and the progress so far and how things are going, where we are going, what we plan to be doing, future guests, which is going to be very interesting. And yeah, I'm going to be asking people listening right now if anyone has any recommendations, or if you want to be on our show and hash some things out regarding a certain subject of a certain dialectic or division between people, let us know. At the same time, I don't mind being on Leslie or I or us together, jumping on other radio shows to kind of get the word out and kind of make this more of a popular discussion, I guess, or just more common, and just having a heart-to-heart, more common ground conversation with other people of the other spectrum. And yeah, we've been a little sluggish out of the gate to get outside of some of these echo chambers that we're in, and some of the networks and people that we're friends with and we know of, and that are just great people and presenters, researchers, truth speakers, and all that stuff. So yeah, we had to base a foundation off of all that good stuff, folks aligned with natural law like us, because those are these eternal axioms of truth that we're laying. This is like the bedrock and the fertile soil on top of all that, alchemized, that good old compost, which, is creating common ground for other people where it didn't really necessarily exist before. We're templating certain conversations around certain dialectics or divisions or polarized topics, and how people are at odds with people. And we haven't even gotten to some of the good stuff regarding, like diet and more of, these things with flat earth or whatever. So we really want to spice things up and bring on more people that are more influencers and have a following, so that they can possibly have their audience tune into a more neutral conversation that's out of their echo chamber. You know, we're trying to break out of all these echo chambers. We're dissolving all these things, because those are causing some division to a degree. And yeah, that's not to say echo chamber is just a negative thing in and of itself. It's just how the collective within that is, you know, moving towards, or what they believe in, or what are their axioms of moral values and things like that, and where they stand upon just, you know, principles that are not man-made, like natural law, universal law, cosmic law. Anyways, so yeah, please, if you have any recommendations of, you know, radio shows or radio show hosts, or anyone that you feel would, you know, want to come on and speak with us, or you would see us, you know, good on their show, either way, you know, it's all to the good, because we're trying to make it good. How's the live stream?
Did you guys ever look and see if it even went on the One Great Work Network?
I didn't check, really. But Will did say it was up. He
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Good. Nice job.
Yeah, hey,
Thanks
likewise.
for hooking that up, man.
Fuck yeah. Hey, it's a great teamwork and stuff, and like
Yeah,
chilling
I was
with Dave
driving-
Rodriguez,
I was driving
dude.
with David. I'm like, yeah, that's some teamwork. We just got the friggin' podcast going. I'm not even there.
Yeah, fuck yeah, yo.
Sweetie.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Much
Work
love
on you.
for truth and good friendship and partnership and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
lots of
So
fun.
yeah. So you got that natural law? Ooh, shit. Yeah, man. What kind of divides are we going to be dissolving next time? We will see.
Divide and conquer, that's the model, this role model, but doesn't go with what's inside my soul, so I don't follow. I walk my own path and keep my own pace, and feel great when I relate to people in the same state.
I gotta make this is like
Shaman work.
it's like Chris said, this is it's like the Encyclopedia Britannica. It's kind of boring, but sometimes people like to read it.
But it's
a
great reference
It's a foundation. That's what it is.
Exactly.
And see, that's how I'm seeing it.
That's
Is
why
I'm just like I'm pushing through this stuff.
It can be
right?
boring or arduous
and
or
it's
whatever,
kind of
but it's like necessary.
Right,
You know,
and then I can reference it, and then I can like be more
Bam.
creative and try to get better and better.
Yeah, like for future clients, you can be like, hey, those are like
This is
free
your
offerings.
homework.
And, yeah.
This is, you read something, or
Uh-huh.
listen to something.
And then, like be like, hey, check this out, and take notes and bring out questions of things that I mentioned, and we could work through this kind of,
Yeah, I could. I've not really thought of doing that actually.
Yeah, because those are offerings for free, and all that
Right.
stuff, and like for your client. Yeah, so I think it'll be a good aid for them to see you as more approachable and like just this path work in a sense as well, and be like, okay, well, this person's like willing to work with me, and
Right.
be open to questions, and
Offer something live, maybe, or interactive, or to a group or something.
Because what I'm thinking sometimes, like our beliefs are challenged, right? And for teachers, like the student is going to challenge the teacher as well with that stuff, like wow, and
Right.
kind of put it back on you.
Yeah.
So like for you to like do that, alchemical woo, or like
And allow the
Yeah.
people to ask questions or challenge, and then and it always helps to have that dialogue, right? Isn't that the dialectic?
yeah,
That's the whole process.
The dia, one of
It's the coming together in conversation about different opinions and opposing dialectics, right?
Yeah,
and then through
yeah.
that process, you get the alchemy of like truth. You understand something deeper.
Yeah. I dropped a potato. It's all
Don't
gravity.
Drop the potato. Dropping potatoes, Jared.
Chris, what you got to say, bro? No.
Say, bro, he dropped the potato.
Aw, that's so.
What else can you say, yo?
That you grew up in San Jose?
I grew up in San Jose,
Though?
where I used to play in my younger day. What else can I display?
Some great work on the way.
It's an
What's-
The
eyeball.
one great
And
word.
here's looking
Oh,
at you.
shit.
Here's looking at me. Here's looking within me. He's trying to find me. Here's me trying to find me, meeting you. You trying to find you. Finding she.
So I hear you're taking the right angle with that triangle with the whole trivium, and how are you really going to be delivering something more exquisite and unique to pique more of an interest for them to, you know?
On June 24th and 5th.
Oh, is that the date?
Yeah.
Save it.
2000.
We'll be streaming live to a screen near you.
Freedom under natural law.
What else can we do?
Freedom.
Funnel is the acronym, and like, how do you describe the funnel? Because
Freedom
it's not like some kind of like, oh, we're gonna funnel you into some kind of
Funneling information.
cult or whatever. It's just like, yeah, there's like certain truths and universal axioms and principles, right, that we can all kind of stand upon, that like the common ground that we're talking about with dissolving the divide, right? And
using the trivium process to gather information, to be thinking critically about things.
yeah,
Right,
Socratic
in order
method,
to
all of
narrow down to the truth. That
yeah,
was the
funneling down like
Let's simplify
dissolving
things a little bit.
the
There are some structure to this universe and this realm that we're in. We can really simplify it.
Yeah.
And freedom under natural law is like a mathematical equation. It's like we can't have freedom until we're living under the understanding of natural law. And how do we do that? Well, there's a simple 3-step process that helps us figure things out, and that's the trivium, right? So we're simplifying some terms, and we're starting up front explaining what those terms mean. That's the grammar. And then that offers the opportunity for understanding, right? Once there's understanding, then we're, as all these people, making better choices, and we're acting out right action. Right triangle, right action. You know, right thinking.
What's the degree of that right angle? Because you're like a... Boom!
And 33 has been the weirdest number for me.
Like Manly P!
333. I'll look at my clock at 3:30. All my life, like not at certain not all my life, but at certain prime moments. 333 shows up a lot. It's really weird.
That's a master number, you know? That's the thrice great Trismegistus, for sure.
For Chris's
Wish list.
existence.
Oh, yeah. Oh, in that.
I've had some assistants, I must say.
Oh, yeah.
Various people that show up in my life or things that happen. It's always been like, how come there's not like a teacher? You know, like I've read those books and someone has like a master and you teach them everything. I'd be like, you know, when I was younger, believing in God, I'd be
Where's your sensei?
please bring me my master, you know. But it turned out life is my master. It's just a combination of every little thing that I come across.
What are you, some kind of student life or something, man? Like,
I suppose
Nature is your master.
nature.
oh shit, we're la loi naturelle.
Chez Derek. What's on the menu for tonight?
Leftovers, but you know the remix, that natural law refix. But oh bam, you mixing up the chili? Oh really?
Make some memes. I'm hungry. Let's eat.
Yeah, okay. That calls for bon appetit.
Oh, hello. Hello.
What's up? Are we trying to dissolve some divides around here? Or
Endless
Fill our
process.
tummy, and I smell something in the
Oh,
air,
yeah.
like some great chef.
yeah.
You want to
Prepare.
fill the empty space in your
And
belly.
We're trying to make some hermetically sealed meals for sure.
seal. Deal.
For real.
Listening
For
to
real.
Yeah.
the powerful
Listening to the
wisdom
real
of
Leslie
the real
Powers.
Leslie.
Hell yeah. And this is what we're doing on a Thursday night. A live stream of her magnificent and monumental Alive Thrive series.
Yeah. Episode 4 of Alive and Thriving.
But there's already like 10 hours in total already, and you're still releasing more. What's
Well,
the
it's close.
total?
It's not quite, and I just finished episode 7, and
Yeah.
I just put that up.
And
so there,
how much is it going up to? Like,
I'm not sure yet.
yeah, it's still like a work in progress,
I think we're getting to like
or
10 or 11. I'm thinking. It depends
Yeah,
on the.
okay.
I'm going to probably make them shorter because I'm going to
Oh,
be
yeah.
talking about a lot of tools, and it's going to be like
More condensed and
boring
focused.
to hear me name anointing on rings. I don't know. It's a surprise for wait and see.
Right on. Sounds good. Thank you. And there's consequences for changing your life for the better if you're staying aligned to, shit that's divine, and you stay trying to be refined and
Get like fine wine.
yeah, ooh, yeah, aging properly.
Hey everybody, hello. This is Leslie Powers, and I'm here with
Derek Bartolacci.
That's right. And we are here for a special kind of check-in edition of Dissolving the Divide. We have completed 19 segments of our Dissolving the Divide podcast. And so number 20, the two of us are popping in to do a little reflection on our various podcasts and try to make some sense of this, the order of our topics. Yeah. So
Yeah, definitely, Leslie. Always a pleasure to chat with you. And this video is different. Gonna throw in a little sugar and spice and things that are even beyond nice, because when you break down that word etymologically, it's kind of surprising to some people. But anyways,
a little bit foolish, in fact.
yeah, I had a great time with you when I was up in Reading last month with you and Chris, and just getting together and hanging out with Nancy and David James Rodriguez for a little bit.
Yeah, we had a great time.
Snow and all that.
It feels special when, people are coming together in person, that we have met online on this, that we have this similar mission, right, of freedom and truth. And then when we come together in real life, it solidifies this connection, and it doesn't feel so alone. I think a lot of us who have been called to this work have felt quite isolated and alone and different throughout our lives, and here now we get to meet all of our friends.
Yeah, and in between, after we did the segment with Brandon Spencer, I got to link up with him in Las Vegas, and we had some good times and documented some of that. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I really like the style of video that you've been putting together recently, where you edited film from our visit and put together a very real life, interesting, fun video. So that's awesome.
Yeah,
Editing. Yeah,
that's one of the things about this great work, that you can actually just laugh in the moment, especially with people. It's that much more enriching. So yeah.
Hey,
not just good times, great times.
Yeah, and it makes me think, Derek, that we've never really no one's asked you to share about kind of some of the detail of the work that you do, because I noticed how you put a lot of detail into your work, a lot of effort. It's a real labor of love when you're editing and producing, and I don't think that people realize how much time and effort what you do takes. So just share a little about what your process is.
No, it's too kind of you. Appreciate that, Leslie. Yeah, I've been at this for over a decade, and during my whole, I guess, truth-seeking experience, I had a quantum leap, and it was a little too much, and I had to take notes in a multifaceted way, just writing things down, copying and pasting links, and it was in 2012 where I wasn't too privy on downloading videos and saving them and all that, archiving. But what I would do as well, and which is what I implemented in my music mixing, and also laying down audio samples over some of the instrumentals of music. I got that off the basis of kind of doing some screenshots of some YouTube videos or whatever, because I was in France. I didn't have a TV or whatever, and it was like a digital bookmark. I'll go back to that and I'd be like, oh yeah, that it's an audible quote almost. You have quotes online, classic quotes that are written, engraved, and that's great. But I just I have a different way of learning and like retaining information. Sometimes it's like I got that audible ear candy that I love, or maybe I'm addicted to, whatever. But and I express that through a lot of music. And I noticed that the music that I was showcasing was great, and it was really deep, and got esoteric, and even talked about universal law and just like the golden rule, and so much spiritual lessons and knowledge that sometimes I wanted to like uh, complement that with like researchers and comedians like George Carlin, Bill Hicks, and even some Dave Chappelle, and like throwing in the Max Segans, Michael Tsarions, Mark Passios, and even like Derek Bros, who is starting to make music himself, and like there's all these people in network, and there's wheels within wheels, and I've even been able to get in contact with folks like Max Segan and other people like Seth Esposa. That's someone that I love to listen to. Is probably one of my favorite YouTube channels out there right now, Black Earth Productions. Incorporated a lot of his quotes over beats and all that stuff. So having that as the base background, not to like make a whole story about this, but yeah, I noticed that, yeah, why not throw some musical clips into it? So it was just a process of learning as I go along, and kind of like, and I would tell my audience like, hey, it's kind of an experiment, we're just going to see how it goes. But at the same time, like, I did not want to waste anyone's time, especially mine. And I spent so much time on these things, and I could find ways to get into a mental mode of focus where it's almost like hyperdrive, and I'm just like, and I can multitask and all this stuff. I mean, you see what Corey Angela does, and I'm like mind blown away at what he does, and I thought I was doing some pretty hyper shit, but like.
Well, yeah, you are. I mean, you put your you have a very creative mind, and when you get a task, you like really kind of play with it and run with it and bring some unique flavor. It's really cool. Yeah, I appreciate that, Derek.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, little touches that you bring to the Dissolving the Divide videos, and the backgrounds, and you've got the logos, and it's really good. I like it. I appreciate that.
Been able to get into a groove where it's more light work. The things that I do, some of these music projects, especially if I add video to them, they could take weeks.
Yeah.
Sometimes less. It really all depends. I mean, like, think of how long it takes for you to make like a presentation for, let's say, the next conference.
Yeah.
Right. That takes a long time, and it's a stepwise process and all these stuff, and you have to like organize so many elements to the project, and that's what I do with these tapestries of music mixes. It might seem like, oh, it's just a DJ doing some. Actually, like, if you really check out my stuff, there's a lot more going on in there.
I'm the alchemist with the twist from the true soil. Spends his entire life manifesting knowledge, wisdom, understanding, freedom, justice, equality, universal truth, love, peace, harmony, the law, reciprocity. And he summarizes his message with this simple theology. As it is above, so it is below. I exist within the great universal mind, beyond man-made calculations of space and time.
Aside from all that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm really glad you got. I wanted to give you this chance to talk about that, have that highlighted a bit. Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. So now let's kind of do a little memory lane here of our last 19 weeks, basically.
Something like this, eh?
That's interesting. Yes, here we go. Back to our introductory segment, which this picture was taken when you came to Reading the first time. And it was like in November of 2022. And this was kind of cool. Got to hang out a little bit, take you to the bridge. We got to help a friend with moving, right? And it was really serendipitous that you were there to help with all that.
Yeah, it was cool. We were hanging out all day and just
Yeah.
shooting the shit while we're helping out a friend and just being of service and with purpose. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, kind of beginning this connection, this partnership, and it was actually that day that we had the first conversation about this possible collaboration on this topic. Yeah.
Yeah, because you were looking to do a topic like this for a certain conference, right?
Yeah, well, I just changed my topic. I'm not doing it on that, but yeah, that was what I was thinking. And then you were thinking about this, like doing a series, and I was like, "Well, sure, let's do it." So
Yeah.
here we started, where we share our thoughts and ideas. So
Yeah,
then,
totally. Because just we can relate to a lot, and we've seen certain things like even in whatever networks we're talking about, and that's out there. The whatever echo chambers, whatever compartmentalization people want to call it, there's infighting, unfortunately, and there's just people that are not on the same wavelength and not able to properly communicate with each other and just stick to the common ground and the main purpose and the priority of what's at hand, what's at stake in the fucking hour of the time that we're in.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So really, we're seeking, a harmony at all levels, including within our own like network of freedom fighters, I guess, truth seekers, and then on the bigger world, right?
Yeah, it's like even this has been on my mind for years and years and years, and I've put out a couple videos that were more cathartic, where I'm just not necessarily like calling people out, but it's like what are we fucking doing? We're getting our asses handed to us still, and people are getting programmed to completely disliking us for holding certain viewpoints or I wouldn't say opinion, but applied knowledge and the wisdom, if you will, because we're speaking what we have come to learn about through some serious due diligence beyond just that simple term that everyone can use, and we ain't no fucking uh, the Dunning-Kruger effect type of people, It's like, oh, we stumbled across some videos and maybe read a book or three, and now we think we know some shit. No, that ain't where the fuck it's at. We have over a decade of, like,
Hours
yeah,
and hours and hours of reflection and study and life inner work too. Our inner work has been a part of this, as well as the outward study and this looking at patterns and being influenced by other researchers and people who have really gone very deep. Of course, I think we've both been influenced by Mark Passio. We've both been influenced by Seth Esposa, among many other researchers and speakers. But ultimately, we care about truth and we care about freedom. We care about people, this earth, and we see that there's this potential for us to live in harmony and peace and to live in freedom. And something about us in our bones, we know that freedom is really important. And
no doubt. But what about that inner freedom?
yeah, well, that's where it
With,
starts. That's where it starts, right? That brings us to episode 1 with Brandon Spencer, solving the internal conflicts. It's really dissolving the division within. And from my point of view, as a clinical social worker and studier of psychology, it all comes back to that always. It's like looking at ourselves and knowing ourselves to be able to have emotional intelligence, to be able to manage our lives in such a way that we can, see ourselves and how we relate to others and what's going on in the world. And then we have to love ourselves, right? So that
like
we can,
Levolution?
yeah. Love each
We'll
other.
get to them later, but yeah.
Because after the self knowledge, there's different aspects of the self, right? And so we have several episodes. We talk about health, health hygiene with Patty Lager and the spiritual aspects of our health, that we're not just a body, but we have a mind and a spirit. We have, a health-related episode with Stephanie Mo Davies, where we're looking at, alternative models of healthcare. We have the internal psychological aspects of self and how we separate within, with this episode with Brandon Spencer. We, what else do we got here after Brandon?
Well, you're jumping around, but that's okay.
I know I am. That's how my brain works.
Yeah, it's all good. But
We got Rodney. Rodney's number 3. The psychology and alchemy, looking at how astrology informs us of our own self, how we can learn about the aspects that we occult within us through looking at our astrology.
And I'm as guilty as anyone out there of completely overestimating, this science, this, gnosis towards self, and how it pertains to each and everyone's individual soul code blueprint as well.
Yes.
And of course, like he takes from the Western side. There's much to glean off from that, or the the Eastern, the Vedic systems. But yeah, from what I've learned from him and Sethigus and other people from either system, I've learned so much about myself and being able to just become more actualized and even activated, and feeling more into myself and mastering myself and trying to wield that and just progress even further. Of course, it's encouraging.
I get a lot out of listening to Rodney. I actually did an individual astrology reading with him. It was amazing. Yeah,
sweet.
really
Cool.
good. Yeah, and I love how you did my logo on this.
So thanks. Yeah,
so pretty.
Doing a little effect of little glow on the image.
Yeah,
and, if folks really want to, I'm making these thumbnails. If people want to learn how to add more flair, it's I put way too much flair up in some things. I know. I'm sorry.
I love it.
Colors, man. It's too busy, but
I love it. I love the color. I love that it all these little details that you put in there. It's like a little candy store. It's cool.
I appreciate it. Yeah, Rodney's great. You can catch him pretty much every Saturday live at 12 o'clock Central Time?
That would be 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. He's on with Logan Hart and the Wizard Factory, doing Logan as a live show. Rodney has a astrology segment every time. Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing their thing. We'll get to those guys more later, but yeah.
Yeah, so.
And so.
Oh, the beautiful Maria West.
Marvelous. Simply marvelous.
So here we talked about the balance within of masculine and feminine within, the inner standing and balance. Yeah.
Yeah. So just real quick, because I need to backpedal just from how we structure this, and I know we reiterated this in other segments, but just to bear in mind for everyone, the first 4 episodes that we had with the first 4 guests, that was a symbolic representation of creating a foundation, a structure of these internal principles that we really need to understand and master and just hold strong to, and always keep in mind, as far as the first law of mentalism is concerned. And yes, the balancing the both hemispheres of the brain and all that stuff that concerns this episode that we delved into deep. Yeah, Leslie, what you gotta say about it?
Yes, recognizing that we are holistic beings, that operate we have within us the masculine and the feminine, and along the whole continuum, and having that awareness and self-knowledge and learning to wield, our power, through a conscious lens,
Yeah. And what were your thoughts about the overall conversation? They can check it out because we talk about what you're getting at, but
Yeah, no, it's an amazing conversation. Mario's a powerhouse, and there were a lot of resonance there. It was a very good combo.
Yeah. Yeah, and just to put in a quick plug-in, you had a really, really great conversation with her on her channel, Love, Truth, and Beauty.
Yeah, Mario's an amazing and prolific podcaster, and she has a very unique approach. I strongly suggest people look her up. And she has a series. She did a series of conversations with men. Derek's in one of those. I think he was the first one in that. And then she started with conversations with women, and I got to be the first guest on that. So that was a lot of fun. It was very personal, it's like a personal conversation.
Yeah, I cried when I watched that. I was like, some such great friends right here, just like doing the great work. So inspirational. Yeah, and your life is very inspirational. I encourage anyone to check out that episode. I wish I had a picture. I could even drop that when I do the video edit. But much love to Maria. She's supported us.
Inspiration, really.
And she was actually the one that influenced me because I was wrestling with the idea like conquering the divide, or like that sounds a little too like manhandling. So yeah, her and I,
very good.
Very good. Hyros Gamos. That's what that represents in the middle.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's a great
Alchemical Wedding.
Yeah.
Nate Cap knows all about that.
Yeah.
He circles the square quite well, and
into the esoteric knowledge.
In the middle.
Yeah, getting into Freemasonry symbolism, and Nate's just super enthusiastic and knowledgeable in this area, and seeking the truth of the point in the middle of the circle, and how we do this again, with the two pillars and this inner alchemical process, really looking at the different levels of internal work.
Yeah, and I expressed it in some videos, but I'm just like so grateful and beyond pleased of just how the show is unraveled and like just has been created, and the stepwise process that we had, and like the careful calculations with the choice in guests to begin with, and it's just to have that extra Masonic help to lay down the foundation, la maçonnerie en français.
Yeah, fascinating.
It's just like craftsmanship, so
very much.
Like I love those philosophies of just like wanting to better yourself and master your craft and all these things, and I've learned so much doing the editing and producing for this show. I bought Restream, the thing that we're broadcasting on, like 6 months ago, not even. So
wow. Wow, really.
It's like work in progress, but it's going pretty well. If anyone has any tips or advice how we can do it better, we appreciate it. And yes, I do want to acknowledge that we do apologize for some audio issues in the beginning.
Yeah, I've had some chronic audio challenges and technological challenges with equipment and so forth. So yeah, we're all growing here and facing some challenges along the way, having to solve problems.
C'est la vie. But at the same time, and it's not like an excuse that we can just like, hey, we're doing this for free. We're not getting paid for this.
This is a labor of love.
Yeah, of course. But at the same time, we would love to have it at the best quality as possible, because we understand the competition that we're up against.
That's for sure.
Especially with the AI being used as a tool to have like automated creations. That's going to whoop my ass on the level I'm working at. But that's a topic we're going to get into with a future guest.
Yes, for sure. That's something to look forward to. It's talking about AI and technology.
And I'm sure some folks are going to be talking about that at the next conference that Nate Cap and Brandon Martin and folks at the good old Cubbyhole are going to be presenting next fall.
Yeah, in September,
Metamorphosis.
the Seed 5 conference.
Bam. Yep.
Exciting. Yeah. Ooh.
Before that, we got the Trivium, and
in June
that
24th.
genius right there created this beautiful
Yeah.
tapestry
Will, along
artwork.
with a few of others, he's like the main producer guy.
Yeah, he's going to be hosting the next conference.
Yeah, Freedom Under Natural Law. It was actually a brainchild of Chris Jantzen. Chris was the first one to suggest it after watching the Seed, the last Seed conference, and he was like, "Hey, I think, we could put on our own conference. What do you all think?" And so Will and Chris and John Rowland and myself and Cindy Long, and at the time Dom Tremblay and Vienna. There's a few, and Rob and Jen, there's a few folks we were meeting on a regular basis, and we went ahead and put together the first funnel conference. So Will's kind of like the main man, like really doing the heavy lifting in the technology. And then Chris sort of, and John, and Dom actually was very big on the first one. He put together the whole funnel website. And then Chris has taken over that and the email lists, and we're all sort of stepping up and doing a little bit more for Funnel 3. But yeah, Will's the main man. And he did a great talk with us here, Connecting to Nature in a Man-Made World, really talking about animism and our actual true nature, and is separate from, in some ways separate from man-made religion. Yeah.
Yeah, we named a whole bunch of things that are not necessarily connected to nature, that are so man-made and off-based that it really has one lost in navigating this reality, and not having a firm heart-based connection to nature, it seems. So yeah, we get into the heart of the matter quite a bit. Will is super deep, in a lot of aspects, in a lot of ways. So yeah, we'll tell truth, I tell you.
He's got some great videos on the basics of natural law and freedom and animism and conscious parenting. So check out Will Keller for sure.
And that NFL.
The Natural Freedom League. Yeah. The Natural Freedom League is a partnership between Will Keller and John Rowland, where they've done a lot of interviews, and there's
some activism.
Yeah, on the street kind of activism, as well as educational podcasts. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So, what do we got? Freedom Under Natural Revolution. Oh yeah. I was so happy to have this conversation with them.
Yeah, that was lovely. The dissolution and solution of the family unit with Levolution.
Yeah, I'm sorry, everyone. Real quick, sometimes the titles can be wordy and this and that. I didn't follow the NLP rules or whatever. C'est la vie, les amis.
France, so we're bringing together this lovely family, talking about how they
all three of them, they were up in the shot.
Yes, all of them, and
especially Sebastian, he was talking the whole time.
How they left kind of for sure. The father here, his name is
Jean-Paul.
So Jean-Paul, left, really transformed his life, leaving the West Coast, going to the East Coast, and then meeting his wife. I don't know if they're married, actually, but meeting.
Probably not in the legal sense, but yeah.
Meeting Amy and
then odds.
Son, and they're living off grid in Maine and doing some really beautiful work together and with themselves, and they had a lot of nice wisdom, bringing us back to really basics and the importance of the family unit.
Yeah, they're very inspirational, just by example, just how they go about their life, and it just seems like a very, like amidst all the chaos out there and within like the daily family unit, raising a child, they seem to be, holding steady. The boat ain't rocking too heavy on the ship that they're sailing, through towards their destiny. And
Yeah.
doing it right in a lot of ways, and they offer services and health supplements as well. And so, yeah, check them out.
They talk about, the ways that the impact of their lifestyle choices and changes on their family, external family, extended family relationships, and how they negotiate that. And Amy has just a beautiful way of really dancing through those challenges in a beautiful way. Yeah.
We brought up a good amount of divisive issues, growing up and being at odds with, or being the black sheep of the family, that kind of stuff, and trying to just, shift directions. And they have a kid, and they're trying to, be on that right path. So
and do think some of their family, members don't really understand or approve of some of their choices, and how are they managing that? That's a challenge that a lot of people are facing nowadays.
So check them out. And Maria West interviewed them on our new series, Numero Uno, for the Heart-Based New Humanity.
Oh, wow.
So that's something to check out as well. On that Love, Truth, and Beauty, check them out. There's going to be links for certain things that we mentioned, of course, as we always do around this time. But so Numero Ocho.
Here we are, Money versus Morality with Chris Jantzen. Yeah, here he's kind of getting down to the nitty gritty, recognizing how, money-based decision-making is often, the motivator in our lives. And it's really one of the major problems, creating division among people. It's just focus on money versus morality.
Yeah, it's quite challenging sometimes, but it's, I think for one thing that helps out is to really break out of that ego and mental and emotional attachment to money and all this stuff. And, we have such high expectations to make a earning and all this stuff, and it's just, it can put too much stress on one's life, and just drags you through the dirt.
And kind of breaking out of that dependency on money and that emphasis and focus and obsessiveness with money, so that's not, doesn't have the power behind our choices in life and our path in life. That's a way to them. A hard one.
Chris was great in that. He brought up a lot of great points and stuff, and I feel like he said this. If not, it's just something that I've thought about a lot, of just well, what if I was homeless? One day, lost everything, didn't have any money, whatever. I found myself on the street. I think I wouldn't see myself there for too long. I think I would be able to just be able to get around and speak with people, be like, hey, I offer you all these services. I have umpteen skills I can do, at your house and this and that. You want to pass a background check? Sure, whatever, all these things. And whatever it takes, you can work things out, especially if you're aligned to the divine and natural law, and just tuned to that heart-based intelligence. The universe has your back, and shit's gonna work out, and things will fall in place. It might take some time. There ain't no fucking instant gratification or crystal ball for you to see that shit, but
especially if you have proper relationship skills. And I think that we have room in our podcast to bring in more conversation about this, about communication skills and teamwork, and ways people can cooperate to get the things done that we need in life, without having to depend on corrupt government institutions, where we can, in our effort to extricate ourselves from dependence on the money and on government, then we need to learn to get along with each other, right? And embody the non-aggression principle, to be willing and able to defend ourselves when we need to. But more than that, more importantly, to get along with other people, to create new things. So I think that, Chris, maybe we'll come back in the future to talk more about that. Something he's
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
He'll come on to talk about some other things too. You
Don't
know what
know.
to do?
I don't know what you're thinking.
Yeah, you do.
So James Cordner. So here we are. Speaking of,
Hitchhiking the truth, yo.
yeah, like get into the nitty gritty, getting to the root. Talk about family and relationships, and then the creation of children. Right, the new individual, the young individual. How precious, how vital, how important, and what a great guest James was to really, represent like true love and care for the spirit of the child. And James shared a lot of really heartfelt, and important points around our responsibility to take care of the children in a proper way. And unfortunately, a big part of protecting them is keeping them out of the public school system. So we have some emphasis on this. We can't sugarcoat that. And through this segment and another one after this with David James Rodriguez, we really hit it home. Got to get kids out of these traps.
Yeah, and it seemed like we concluded a lot that, like that wasn't anything new to us really, but a lot of these traps are these false figures of authority, like we discussed in that segment. So yeah, it was really great. James always has like plenty to say about many things. He's broadcasting live 24/7 right now on his Hitchhiker's Guide to Truth on YouTube.
Nice. Yeah, he's
and Twitch. Yeah, you can check him out over there, or just he has other pre-recorded videos on his channel. They're on the One Great Work Network. That's what the logo on the bottom left is all about. That's why you see those on the thumbnails. So yeah. Connections.
Yeah. Fellow warrior for truth and the protection of children.
Yeah. So in the image, I chose that because it's like the hand of nature that will lead them towards the right path in a sense, and lead them back towards themselves as well.
Love
because
it.
nature can be like a mirror, or like can be a reflection of what is inside of us, kind of like that law of correspondence, as above, so below, as within, so without. As the universe, so the soul. But anyways,
great picture.
Yeah.
We are not
How to
the
raise the seeds
our,
correctly. He'll be at the seed conference, pun intended.
We are not the author of our children's rights. I think that's an important point of what he was saying too, is that we do not give our children their rights. Their rights are inherent, but we're stewards to protect them. Yeah. And here we go, talking about protection, police state versus natural state with Dan Arnold. He's an ex-cop, ex-military, so kind of amazing insights, some stories about his own experiences within the police force, the dilemmas that he sees cops have, how to be in that, really advises not stepping into that job, that system, but also sort of sharing how he got through it. Very interesting.
Yeah, and not sure if he's still doing it every single Thursday, but he's got his little coffee rants. He does his tack chats. Spiritual anarchist. That's his moniker on BitChute, Odyssey, YouTube, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this guy. I like this guy a lot, and he's got a lot of insight. He's had really incredible experiences, and for the including tragic. So, like for folks who've had like those catalyzing moments, it's like there's a lot that they've learned from, if they've done it correctly, like he has, and so like there's a lot for us to learn from as well. So, and like just his whole background is really interesting, and yeah, I think he is one of those real life individuals that can actually pick up the hammer of Thor as well.
Yeah, and a lot of insider insights, juicy details. All right. What do we got next? 11, the power number. Oh, Stephanie Mo Davis, healthcare versus healthcare. Stephanie's a pretty amazing woman with an amazing story. Yep, she'll be speaking at the Funnel 3 conference. She is a true pioneer right now, picked up and moved from Texas to New York to take on this pioneer project in healthcare, creating a holistic model of care for not only the public but for healthcare providers. Really kind of trying to fill in the gaps for what's missing in the humanity of healthcare. She's very active and passionate in this whole field, this topic, coming from her own story of recovery from a kidney disease and near death. Yeah.
Yeah, like I was gonna say, kind of like that. She said like some seriously, life situations that she had to overcome, and when one overcomes, and like perseveres, it can really embolden or galvanize a certain strength within someone in that passion, and she's pursuing it, and all more power to her. It's great what she's doing now.
Yeah.
And we had a wonderful chat with her. It was really inspiring and intriguing from where she was coming at, and this
hopeful. It's hopeful.
Experience and what she's trying to do, and facilitate for people to heal, right? Even that, if that's one of those forbidden 4-letter words in the internet land of censorship, who cares?
Right. Damn.
Oh, it's the C word. Excuse me.
Oh, right.
It's still 4 letters too.
Yeah.
It rhymes with sure.
Yep, you can't say that.
Awakening Healthcare. That's her business. That's where you can check her out. She's wonderful.
Yep. All right.
Yeah. Holistic health. Like she knows what's up with natural law, as well as so many other people, and like it's just been really great to just connect with all these people and connect all these different links of how all these things apply. They all connect, and they can all benefit us. They can all empower us. They could all encourage us, and they could all unite us as well. So
yes,
that's what we're trying to bring forth.
All right. Number 12, Dissolving the Divides of Gender with Logan Hart, the polarity of gender. Always bringing a little controversy to the table.
Logan always brings controversy, no, just kidding.
Yeah.
No, he's awesome, and from the good old Wizard Factory, like we mentioned, you can catch him live every Saturday.
Yeah, he's also pushing the edge right now, really trying to expand, the technological aspects and the content aspects of his work here in the natural law and freedom movement. And he's, talks about paganism, and he's very
OG style.
Yeah.
The non-inverted, but you always got to do a caveat with that. I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah. And
thanks a lot, Christianity, or whatever. Just kidding.
And on this segment with him, we talk about the polarities between men and women, and the way that, in many ways, that men, a lot of natural tendencies of femininity and masculinity are being, they're being overpowered, or they're being diluted. They're being confused, and that there's been this resulting, conflict between the sexes, and difficulty really figuring out how do you find the unity, between the masculine and the feminine, men and women. So this one is bringing up some really, really important topic, really important ideas, and challenging ones. And it really helps, really pointed out to me just how we've become alienated from each other in many ways, and there's been an attack on our trustworthiness. The trust is very elusive for many of us in relationships. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is laying down a good primer for future conversations about this subject to be in the future, because this has to be brought up over and over from both perspectives, and we want to have more guests on, even from the LGBTQ community. We need to talk to all these people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. And Logan is doing some special right now on his Wizard Factory live show on Saturdays. He's doing special conversations. The one he just did was between men and talking about the different things in life that they have to endure as men. And then next weekend, there'll be a few of us women talking about our personal perspectives of things that women endure. And then the third one will bring the men and women together and bring, again, like an integration to these two polar experiences. So continuing that work, that's really important.
Yeah, there is such a thing as a hermetically sealed principle, the law of gender.
Yeah.
But what do I? Anything else about this one?
Yeah, I think we're good on that.
He rocked it.
Yeah. Yep.
Thanks, Logan. But yeah, I just want to say, like, yeah, because he can mention. He's really good on a lot of subjects. I wanted to have him on to have a subject just on like the inverted version of paganism versus what he's in tune with, which is like just the original.
Yeah.
All these things and how it relates more to like the animism and natural law and those philosophies and all that stuff. But he can also talk about technology and all that stuff. And
exactly. Crypto, like he's really pretty jack of all trades. All right. So after Logan and the magical number 13,
we'll see him later.
Oh my, Logan.
Either on the factory or
number 13 back.
Just like we'll see him again at the factory. Yeah. And it's funny, like, because we had to reschedule some things because Rodney was on Logan's and we were supposed to, and like he chatted with us right after he got off a Logan's show.
Yeah. Transiting into the spring equinox with Rodney Goodwin. It's the spring equinox report with the Blue Pearl Oracle, Rodney's program. And I would say this was very timely the way it turned out. There was like heavy duty energies happening and this galactic scale that Rodney was able to talk to at this point. So very timely report of impacts all our lives in this very auspicious time, 2023.
Yeah. Rodney rocks it every time. I highly suggest checking out his YouTube channel, Hardcore Productions. He has nothing but encouraging messages and insightful information. And he has his website, hardcoreproductions.com, where you can actually get a reading, like you said. And I'm on the books with him, as well as a friend I gifted a birthday present with. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And it's beyond just astrology. He has some other things as well, even like a partnership reading as well, to see how y'all natal charts match up beyond the average
readings and maybe tarot as well.
Yeah, he applies so many esoteric aspects to this science as well. It's not just astro psychology, but applying tarot and all these things as well, natural law.
I love that symbol that you put there that looks like it has the astrology, the runes, and maybe tarot represented in it.
Yeah, but I don't think anything can do justice to this man's work. But
All right.
Yeah.
Number 14. What do we got? Da-da-da-da! David James Rodriguez.
Yeah. We're in the house, literally.
Yeah, literally in the house. Independent.
This was not photoshopped.
Yeah. We all had the privilege of getting to hang out in the living room, talk philosophy and principle, It's awesome. That was on your recent trip to Reading.
As we continue to dissolve many of the divides of society and all that stuff, not to be all like, whoa, but
yeah. Dude, we are the ones, man. Are you voluntarist? Or how do you identify? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, abolitionists. I mean,
abolitionists,
we were on the same Freedom Summit with Corey Angelik.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Nice. That was a great summit then, man. So that's why I came here, because I was the child. I was in the schools, so that's what I like talking about, just a matter of how I frame it.
So you tell us, like, we could...
So there's Chris Jantzen and me and David and you and Lacey the dog.
Yeah. That might be something we could even upload in the future, just that in and of itself. It was like an hour-long conversation. We talked a good amount about divisional stuff, but, at the same time, it would be more of a retread of what we discussed when we had him on, just behind the microphones, and he rocks it.
Yeah,
David Hot Rodriguez. Oh,
very professional, very clear. Yeah,
that's another Thor that can pick up the hammer,
Right. This podcast, this particular conversation with him was epic. It was he rocked it. He wove together so many powerful points that are relevant to understanding why homeschooling and alternative education is so needed in this day and age. Very inspiring, very motivating. Yeah, this is one not to miss.
Yeah, and I think this channel is great for parents.
Mm-hmm.
And especially trying to do the right thing for them and offer the right tools of education for them, and kind of being weary about the public school system, even having to sacrifice for that for whatever reason, being able to have ways and resources to kind of be like, hey, it's not all doom and gloom, and there's ways to deprogram. There's ways like they can just forget about it, and you can talk to David, and you can get a high school certificate, without doing high school. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff.
Yeah. There's a lot of great people who are already doing homeschooling and alternative education that you can pick their brains, and you can see that, if you have any doubts about children who are homeschooled and how well prepared they are for the world, like, I've got some people for you to meet. I just met a girl yesterday who's amazing, young, like homeschooled girl, incredible confidence, doing a little presentation to a group of adults on, something related to her kind of farm home life. It's just really amazing. It's different. So got to get our kids into inspiring settings where they can thrive and grow. And David's got the formula here. He knows.
Yeah. He's on that thing too.
Yeah, he'll be talking at Funnel 3, the trivia.
His name is Logan.
And Logan will be there. Yes, very exciting. Okay, we're getting through these. Let's move to number 15. Resolving the Paradox with John.
He's on there too.
He's going to be at Trivium, Funnel 3. He's
helping organize this too, right?
Yeah, he's one of our founders, to help this.
And last year he gave a great, cool little presentation, and that one's like really for the kids in a really cool format of teaching the Trivium and learning about these things.
Yeah,
at that level. But appreciative for all ages, So
yes, yeah, he's super creative. He definitely he's very self-motivated and inspired, and he follows his path, and very interesting to follow him as he goes forward and shares. And I really appreciate, I just have to say, I just really appreciate John's mind, how thoughtful he is in thinking through how he's willing to think outside the box and to challenge, ideas, but he does it in a very respectful way. Really cool guy. Yeah, he's one of the guys who got out on the street, and set up weekly tables around the Bay Area, teaching people about natural law, challenging the mainstream political system, way of thinking, and doing the work. And also, he and Will doing the Natural Freedom League interview. Yep. Great guy.
Yeah, it's too bad wasn't able to link up with them in the Bay Area, but maybe another time.
Yeah. And then number
But yeah, as far as this conversation, it was great. It brings up a lot of things. It makes one just kind of re-evaluate just this reality and how it's been presented to us, and how we can, just go back to self and kind of recenter that, and in a sense, and it's not like we have to drop everything we ever fucking learned and knew, all that stuff, of course, it's like anything, like, it's like, don't believe us, like, or whatever, and like, or take it with a grain of sand or salt and whatever, and just help it dissolve some of the divides. That's all we ask,
Yeah. He really talks about the spiritual aspect of natural law and this idea of the nus. He calls it the natural universal spirit. It's a nice way of, it's a cool way of packaging, I guess, some of the natural law messaging and recognizing its spiritual aspect.
Yeah, totally. Sketchy. And he's implementing that in his music as well.
Mm-hmm.
Check him out.
Yeah, also a musician.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Sorry. Switched. Sorry.
And then now we have number 16 with Brandon Martin, brilliant guy, amazing person to bring on. We could talk for hours and hours and hours. The conundrum of esoteric and exoteric knowledge. And he's really, taking us deep into recognizing that everything that we see in the world has a deeper meaning and a occulted level. Esoteric message, that things on the surface aren't really what they seem a lot of the time, and opens this door to us really recognizing the importance of symbols and how they're everywhere. And if we don't have some understanding of what we're looking at, that we're unconsciously being affected. It's about bringing consciousness.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah, I encourage everyone to listen to Brandon Martin's work on the cubbyhole and seed. He's also been put together this amazing conference, Seed 5.
He'll be on the Trivium as well.
He'll be talking at Funnel 3, and then he's also putting on a zone conference, Seed 5.
Mario West is going to be there, Nate Cap as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot them. Will Keller, of course.
Oh, yeah, we have a lot of these folks who will be...
Corey,
Corey too. Yeah, we're not there yet. Yeah, we're jumping ahead, all excited about all these amazing people.
Yeah, it's been great.
It's a fun convo. I would love to bring him back and keep learning. I'm putting together a book actually on the history of anarchism.
Yeah, it's
that could
really
be something that we bring him back and talk about, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, good on him.
And understanding what anarchy really is versus what people think it is, because that's another aspect of a divide. Yeah, I felt fortunate to be able to chat with him. Jesus, we could have gone on for 3 hours at least. Easily.
Could have cut it off for like 2.5 or something. But yeah.
I know. It went by like really fast.
But he's a busy man in between writing his book and laying down tiles in his kitchen and all this other stuff. He's building his house, and
he was on
all the Skatopia stuff, and it's like,
he did a 2-part.
Got a lot going on. Really impressive. So yeah.
With Logan on what is freedom. That was excellent.
Yeah. Yeah, and he was on James's show recently.
Yeah, he's talking about anarchism in the history as well on Hitchhiker's Guide. Yeah,
he spoke about like an interesting historical event, Slaughterfest in France, in Paris.
Oh wow!
Yeah. It's like, I don't even want to get into the details, but not like we're gonna get into every single detail about everything we're going over recapping, but overall, it's such a great chat with him. I get energized, talking about certain subjects with certain people and playing off certain things and their background. It's just like really cool having these conversations.
I agree. Yeah. We like it.
And I love the purpose and direction that it's heading for as well.
Yeah.
Solutions, All right, next.
Oh, political polarities and divisions of liberty with Corey Enderlot. So we're, broaching this, common, challenging this common paradigm of politics and voting. And Corey's bringing some truth. He's just saying it like it is, how the corruption of government and the inauthenticity, the falsity of government and authority.
Well, what's the context of all that? I mean, number one, he had his end of slavery conference that we were all up in, just like a lot of folks we mentioned that are going to be in the next ones, as well as his new initiative of, his whole like to vote or not to vote or something like that, right?
Yeah,
he's more on the do not vote, right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, voting is not helping us to be free. We're tricked. We talk about why. Yeah. And his website is Nature is the Answer, Nita.1. He's a prolific guy. Yeah. So this is a really important topic.
Yeah, I can only save a certain amount of logos. I used to have everyone's logos stocked up in there, otherwise I would have been flashing them on the yeah, it's a little too much, and it can be distracting for me and trying to listen to you and all this stuff. So yeah, so check it out. Good conversation. We can easily cut through the bullshit and say like the ultimate divisive thing, or the one true divide, is just this false belief in authority.
Yes.
And we have so many flavors of it to keep people just, continuing these negative feedback loops and over and over and over. And the reason why I picked this center logo is because it shows the polarities and all this stuff, and it can actually have an arrow. And there's other diagrams, there's an actual like formula for freedom, depending on the level of morality is going to be equated to the level of freedom that people have.
Mm-hmm. That's so cool. Yeah. Cool,
and like, why is it that a higher rate of morality per capita is going to be seen in a place that doesn't have much government?
Yeah, people will have to rely on morality.
Natural law, baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
They'll learn it real fast.
Right? Yeah.
All right. We just got a few more to go here.
Yeah.
Present. Oh, this one is special to my heart.
Yeah.
Yep. Shadikal Hargrave, How True Forgiveness Can Bridge Gaps of Division, with Chad Hargrove. Forgiveness can set us free. He did a great job of really recognizing in relationships how we bridge the gap of conflict and hurt and through forgiveness, and how this is an inside job. And it doesn't mean that we allow wrongdoings, but it's a spiritual transmutation. And it raises us up, and it allows us to unify in ways that we can really be free together. It's really beautiful and vital conversation from my view.
Yeah. Chad's a beautiful soul, and he's chock full of some great wisdom. He's doing workshops. He's doing the groundwork. People, one-to-one. He provides services, even like holy matrimony type of thing. That could be off radar of the governmental.
Yeah, I think he would be great
with it. He's flexible, but
he's a great mediator. If you are in a conflict or having trouble letting go of resentments, and really find that you are stuck in depression around, being hurt or wounded by another, he would be an amazing coach to help assist a person out of that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So what I wanted to say is, like, going off of what you said about, just that inner work and all these things, reconciling certain things within oneself, even if, we've had the wrongdoing put upon us, whatever, and being able to just alchemize that in whatever way. This video right here is like a very great example of like going through, what we laid down as far as the foundation of the first 4 videos of that internal um, emancipation of those internal conflicts and all these things that we need to master and reconcile and recalibrate and reevaluate and refine and stay aligned to the divine and all that shit.
I like that phrase, internal emancipation, because I do think that is what he's describing, is how we are emancipating from our own like desire to stay resentful or wounded, right? And to raise above that, while living the principles of natural law. And by doing so, then we create strength in relationship. It's healing, heals. And we all people, really do need companionship, friendship, relationship, support. It's the greatest area of pain in most humans' lives. It has to do with relationships. And so I think this is a vital topic, difficult.
Yeah, it's very therapeutic and healing. It's redundant, so be it. But yeah.
Yeah.
Shadical Hourgrave, man. Chad, much love, brother.
Yeah.
He rocked it.
Yeah, he did. It
And
was
like
great.
so many of these guests, they're just like bam, bam, automatic, systematic, and sometimes it's like I want to be like, yo, like, because we're really trying to reframe things in a certain way, and they could talk about all types of things for days.
Yeah, no, it's impressing me, the knowledge, the basic knowledge of natural law, and that these folks have internalized. It's lovely.
Yeah. Cheers.
And expanding it right through their own creative lens, all the better. Oh, and then here we go, our last guest of so far of the series, Patty Lager, diagnosing allopathic and homeopathic systems through natural law. Interesting title there, dude. Yeah, she's really bringing a new lens for us to look at the difference between the allopathic model and more of a naturopathic, homeopathic model. So she's a naturopath and has a specialty in homeopathy. And she's recognizing and really emphasizing how we are more than just our bodies. We're more than biological machines. We are spiritual, emotional, and creatures with energy fields, and that the true healing comes from the knowing of this, from the treating of yourself as a spiritual being. Yeah, a whole different viewpoint on health.
Yeah, you saw that.
Yeah, it's lovely, really good, really important, right up my alley.
Man. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so Patty's brilliant. She's very systematic. She's clear. She's knowledgeable. She's been around for a while, understanding.
She's a professional.
Yes. Yep.
She's not a necessarily MD, right?
She went to medical school and then chose to complete her training and experience in naturopathic medicine. And she teaches physiology and anatomy at a university for pre-med students. But she has gone down the road of naturopathy and homeopathy and health hygiene, which she's an excellent teacher of.
Yeah.
Check out Patty.
Yeah, she offers a lot of service. I mean, so many of the guests we've had, they offer services. They do real work, just like that. Like their great work is, what they're doing, providing benefits for other people, and that's awesome. And that's where I'm trying to be at as well. Not at your level, Leslie. I got a long ways to go, but
I'm still working at separating out. For sure, you're more free, and less connected to the system than me. I've got still to learn, work on get more detached. And I think that, we can help each other with this by seeking the services of folks, that we're highlighting in our podcast, and we can start to build a separate economic system, really, in a way, a little.
Like we're talking about Chris Jantzen.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, there's different ways that we can help support each other and learn from each other. So we're going to keep on going forward with lots of.
Yeah. So before I close this thing real quick, health is so important, and there's so many divisive things about this. I mean, of course, we're going to get into the topics of the V word versus the anti-V word, and a lot of other stuff. Not to shy away from censorship-prone words, but hey, at the same time, I'm glad our videos or channel has been flagged yet. Or given a strike.
Yeah, for the most part.
All I can say for my other channel, but
yeah, so far Dissolving the Divide videos have stayed up. Ironically, Odyssey was only one that like wouldn't let us post Logan's, which is so weird. But we look forward to providing more good stuff.
Yeah, and this is part of this series as well. It's just like we're trying to build each other up, trying to hold every guest we have large, and all these things,
and value ourselves, each one of us, each one of you. That's a big part of this. No one should be left behind, right? Truly, not just in a school rhyme,
yeah, but unless they just want to choose that, so headstrongly and or whatever. But, what's that? There's that one phrase that kind of comes to mind. It's like that one child that gets kicked out of the tribe, or like, it's like the refusal of someone left out of a child could fuel the fire that he would burn their village down with, or something like that.
I'm not familiar with that, but
okay,
gist. Yeah.
Anyways, yeah.
Right. It's like the importance of every individual and every individual's potential. And so we
also holding them accountable, because obviously ain't everything peachy with everyone, and ain't everyone doing their proper shadow work or whatever, or holding themselves accountable to the point where no one else has to hold them accountable.
Yes.
Because they're causing harm and disharmony or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? So group dynamics or whatever, like
stepping up our personal responsibility through self-knowledge and caring about each other, because we know that we're interconnected and interdependent, and so we're learning about morality and principles on the way to freedom.
Anyways, we have some future guests coming on. Real quick, Chris Nelson of evolveconsciousness.org. This guy is brilliant and brings so much to the table for well over a decade, and his infographics speak for themselves, aside from all the presentations that he's, created revolving around those. And there's been a lot of presenters and other folks that use that content. Next we have Brittany Ashby and Brian Easterday. A lovely couple. They're into the homesteading, and we're going to be speaking about one of them dialectics about food. Stay tuned. And there's going to be a special gift in that broadcast regarding a free cookbook that Brittany concocted with one of her friends, and I contributed a recipe. It's going to be delicious and nutritious. Don't be suspicious. Anyways. After that, we have Angelique. This woman has done some really interesting path work, and she's tried to heal and help women, especially those that have suffered, from whatever. We discuss certain things, Leslie and I, in other podcasts outside of our Dissolving the Divide, and the one that is most related within our series is the one we did with Logan Hart. But anyways, so that's going to be mid-May. Then in June we have Lumas from Hawaii, the one-man show on the Chana Down radio. This is going to be very, very groovy, and this is going to really open the floodgates, because I've already been in contact with a couple people and I want to have more international guests on. I'm going to be going to France myself, because I got friends and folks, and I want to interview Larry Métis, parce que moi je suis complice. Music stuff, but so yeah, we want to have Francesco Sani on from Italy, maybe even Laura Frank, Dorian Greens. She's from a place where I'm going to be staying at over the summer in the south of France near Marseille. And in Holland, we're trying to get on Glenn Tram from the One Great Work Network, and possibly Jasper Rodenhouse, one of my good friends. And he's got his podcast, Common Underground. And in Germany, there's Alpha VUK that we would love to see one day. So, hey. So, voila. Please let us know what's up. We'll leave our contacts in the description as usual. I have a link tree. It has like a dozen different links on it, so it might not be easy to navigate, but yeah, I got a lot going on. But there's my email in there. Finally, I got it on there. You can contact Leslie, just give us a quick subject header in email of dissolving the divide, a guest, whatever. So yeah, we got so much more in store, and this is really just the beginning. And we barely even touched on some of the most controversial topics out there. Not like those are the biggest things that are going to prevent us from reaching freedom, but they're causing so many wedges between so many people in so many different communities. And it's actually discrediting people from speaking proper truth or presenting proper information. That's not necessarily on the television, I know. But yeah, I've heard enough to understand what's coming out of the tell-lie vision. Tell-lie vision, sorry. Or whatever. How's it going, Leslie?
Hi, Derek.
I heard Brandon told me that you got that natural law.
I got that natural law. Part of the Natty Law group.
Word. Buongiorno. Yeah. Once again, my friends, we are heading up. That's not even close to as high as, well, we're not going to climb quite as high as Mount Shasta, or even, getting close to those foothills, but yeah, Leslie Powers and Chris Jantzen live in Reading, which is not too far, and it's quite a beautiful place, and I'm so grateful that Chris is letting me stay at his place, and we are going to get some things done, and get our quality of audio and things of that nature fixed up. I'm really sorry, and first and foremost, I want to thank everyone who's listening right now and who's listened to previous episodes of Dissolving the Divide, and yeah, it's slowly but surely, right? We didn't really have a set plan from the get-go. It really depends on people's life schedules, and it was feasible enough just doing one episode interview, whatever, per week, so that's just been the format, and I appreciate everyone's patience, or let me know if it's too much. Hopefully it's not enough, but yeah, I really hope folks are, I wouldn't say just enjoying the content, or what people, certain guests and topics and whatnot, but yeah, being inspired and possibly trying to take certain things into perspectives and approaches towards other people, and just like life and raising the bar, raising the standard of in the alternative media. What? Alternative media? What did I say? Just like little grammatical errors like that. Are people being paid millions of dollars going to be settling for that kind of? Those get put on the bloopers of these highlight reels on whatever channel. Like, have you seen those back in the day? I know they still do that. And what's funny is that they'll just do episodes of, like, there's whole seasons or television programs based off of YouTube videos now. Well, I mean, I guess that's the evolution of America's Funniest Videos or whatever. He did pass away, right? Rest in peace, Bob Saget. But I want to say he was actually speaking about some really controversial things, trying to shed light on them in the latter years of his career, right? I don't know. I don't watch TV. I've been out of the country, but anyways, I'm not going to use that as an excuse every time. We got information at our fingertips. I'm using my camera, not some smartphone camera, though. So whatever. So Leslie and I are gonna be having round 2 of just getting down to some brass tacks, seeing how things are going at the local level and all that good stuff. And hello, Purple. And really, yeah, just when you're, I mentioned this in the first episode, like when you're with someone in the present, like, I'm going to be with Chris Jantzen, we're going to, boom, I think we're going to steamroll some goodies for some future projects to come, like regarding the Freedom Under Natural Law Conference, number 3, wannabe, that is involving the trivium, because 3, yeah, it is quite the magical number, and you triple that. Well, take it to the. I'm not gonna be all smart and cute. Trying to be and embody the thrice great, right? It's isn't that something to live for and be inspired by? Just in and of itself, amidst all the chaos going around. And like so many people have, different types of unfortunate incidents, traumas, heartbreaks, whatever. And yeah, we're trying to let people know that, it could, I'm not gonna say it could be worse, but that there's better ways to heal those traumas. And what Leslie and I have noticed is that, especially those that have not done and really initiated themselves into, or with others, especially if they needed that badly, like shadow work or inner work and things of that nature, because, we can sense and hear and see there's a lot of people that are projecting their, traumas and confusions and stuff, onto other people, and it just creates these negative feedback loops, and we're not getting that far as a collective, and just as like, people to people, simple relationships, and it's so easy to think things are going good because, I went to the store and the retail people were nice and this and that. Well, it's like they're kind of paid to do that as well, like I was, I worked in restaurants and this and that. Yeah, I didn't feel motivated by money, especially when I was in France, because you're not tipped much at all. You don't get tipped for shit. I keep forgetting to mention that when I talk about my personal work experience in that job domain of being a bartender, waiter, cook, whatever. Yeah, like kissing people's asses just to make a tip. Nah, I never really was about that. It was more about like not trying to fuck up. especially in the early years, and just, try to be the best I could, and like try to master that craft. And so there is no stress, and like shit is like almost not like second nature, but and I got inspiration from my mom, because she works 7 days a week, and like it just seemed like she was just like laughing it up, having conversations with people on the phone, let alone they were like clients, but she treated them all like friends. And so that's just a great approach to see people, even if we do have to keep some discernment and have boundaries and healthy placement of being in the center of the feminine, masculine, non-aggression, and self-defense principles, right? And voila. I do not need to ramble on this chat and waste your time, but yeah, I'm not just out here killing time driving up north, but it's fun. You let your mind wander a little bit and just reflect, introspect, and nice, calm, and collect. I asked you a question though. You got that natural law or what?
It's not something you can got, man.
Give it to me right now. The people are asking. No, I'm just kidding.
It's not something you can have.
All right, I'll find it within myself, and
it has to be discovered.
Where do your sister and brother?
I guess it could be realized.
Right? Yeah.
With your real eyes.
Ooh. You mean like distinguishing truth through the real lies?
Okay, here we go.
So we're trying to share ideas, get something cracking for the conference maybe, share a lot of philosophical, spiritual, and enlightening information.
Raise the frequency, happy to see me. Are you ready for a holistic view? Raise the frequency, happy to see me. Are you ready for a holistic view? Are you ready for the holistic view?
Damn, will we ever awaken your mind? Damn, will we ever awaken your mind?